Good evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Grant Olson is away tonight. I'm Jefferson Robbins. We're rolling to the end of the week, but that doesn't mean the news stops happening. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. A SWAT operation surprises an East Wenatchee neighborhood as police try to take a woman into custody after an alleged violent incident. King County authorities believe they've caught a suspect in the murder of a Ravensdale man with deep family ties to the city of Cashmere. Weather-wise, there was plenty of sunlight bathing the Wenatchee Valley today, but it didn't help much with the temperature. More crisp, cold days are in the forecast. Dan Kuntz will be along a little bit later for the total weekend outlook. Right now, your top story. A fire this morning destroyed a Wenatchee Heights home. Wenatchee Valley Fire Department crews were sent scrambling about 9:40 a.m. after callers reported plumes of smoke coming from a two-story house in the 3100 block of Gudmundson Road above Squilchuck. Department Chief Brian Brett told NCWLIFE most of the house was burning fast by the time firefighters arrived.
That's a long response time up to the Heights. Our closest staff station is at the bottom of Squilchuck. Extended response time up there. When crews arrived, it was approximately 75% involved, and as they engaged in extinguishment, it continued to take a hold on the building. So unfortunately, it was a total loss. One of the few, we haven't had a total loss structure fire in several years.
Firefighters managed to bring that blaze under control by 10:30 a.m. No injuries were reported, and 3 dogs that were kept in an attached kennel were saved. The cause of the fire remained under investigation today. Well, an alleged assault early Thursday in East Wenatchee resulted in a standoff between the suspect and law enforcement. The East Wenatchee Police Department says just after 3 a.m., a 32-year-old female attacked a 30-year-old female while carrying a large knife at a house in the 800 block of Garden Place. The victim was eventually able to flee to a nearby residence, and the East Cascades SWAT team was deployed after the suspect refused to exit the residence. After a 4-hour standoff, the suspect surrendered. She was booked on suspicion of second-degree assault and burglary. The victim was transported to Confluence Health Hospital with a possible broken wrist and fractured rib. An East Wenatchee woman who was on trial for subjecting a 13-year-old girl to inappropriate phone and video calls from a jail inmate pleaded guilty to multiple charges on Thursday before the case could go to the jury. 43-year-old Raquel Ann Rudolph, previously known as Raquel Ann Langhurst, entered a plea to 5 counts of violating a no-contact order, which is a gross misdemeanor. Her plea states that Rudolph allowed multiple calls between the child and Kenneth Allen Crabtree, who was jailed at the time in Okanogan County and was barred from contact with the girl by a court order. Crabtree, who's now serving 7.5 years after pleading guilty to charges that he sexually exploited the girl. Under Rudolph's own plea agreement, Douglas County prosecutors will withdraw 5 felony charges of communicating with a minor for immoral purposes. Rudolph faces sentencing on December 8th. Well, the Wenatchee City Council adopted an overall budget of almost $165 million on Thursday night, including almost $36 million in its general fund. About $76 million will be spent next year on major capital projects like the Wenatchee Convention Center, Confluence Parkway, and the McKittrick Street extension.
We have 37 different funds. The major one is the general fund that we often spend time looking at. And so Exhibit A lists all the different funds, and really what we legally have to adopt are the budgeted expenses column of that. And so that will set the guidelines for 2024, and I am certain that things will come up during 2024 that we will need budget amendments for next year as well. But this, as of today, this is our best estimate of what 2024's revenues and expenses will look like.
When we come back, state senators representing NCW are touting the value of Eastern Washington farms, and they want to pass legislation they say will help farms to endure. And a pet-friendly business holds a fundraising round of holiday photography. That's all coming up. I'm Jefferson Robbins, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, located on South Wenatchee Ave, has the largest selection of spas and swim spas in town. Stay cool this summer in an artesian swim spa and use it all year long. We enjoy helping families reconnect one spa at a time. Hot tubs are proven to improve sleep and decrease arthritis pain. Our passion is water, so please bring us a water sample, and we will help you diagnose your pool or spa water for free. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, your pool and spa experts.
In Digital Media Arts program, we learn about video production gear and editing by the combination of class projects and nonprofit work and employment.
It makes things happen.
Yeah.
It's pretty magical.
We work in the industry at the Wenatchee Road, NCWLIFE channel, and the Town Toyota Center events. Every day we work with industry standard equipment for a hands-on learning experience.
Around here, Jack Frost nips more than just your nose. That's why people here drive Honda. Dependable all-wheel drive with traction control, with heated steering wheel and seats to keep Jack Frost off your seat, which will make it very happy. And since it's no fun to fill up in this weather, isn't it cool that Honda is known for legendary fuel efficiency? Great deals are here now, and so is Mr. Frost. So see your Inland Northwest Honda dealer today. Honda can handle it.
Police in King County have arrested a suspect in the murder of Nick Valison, the son of former Cashmere Mayor George Valison. 38-year-old Andrew Ralph Bame is accused of running over the 53-year-old Valison with a pickup truck on September 21st on a rural roadway outside Ravensdale. King County Sheriff's detectives say Bame later set fire to the truck to hide evidence. Bame was among a group of people who Valison apparently confronted about illegal dumping in the area. Police say witnesses in that group came forward to identify Bame as the suspect. He's being held in the King County Jail on $4 million bond. Well, Republican state senators for rural Washington say they'll push legislation this year to ease the burdens on farmers. In a press conference Tuesday, the Senate GOP released its Cultivate Washington agenda, aimed at regulations, water rights, wildlife management, and other issues that affect the state's farm production. The new state legislative session begins on January 8th. 13th District Senator Judy Warnick and 7th District Senator Shelley Short are among those promoting the legislative plan.
I grew up on a farm. It was a small dairy farm in Senator Short's district, and it was a family farm. That farm pretty much supplied an income for two families. My aunt and uncle, our family, that included 7 children. Now those farms are no longer doing dairy. They're still in my family name. My brother owns one and my cousin owns one, but they don't have the dairy. They raise beef cattle and crops. So it's changed quite a bit since I grew up there. But I grew up with a heavy investment also in not only being a family, but 4-H, FFA, and a school system that helped teach what we were doing. Because most of the people that went to school at Deer Park had some connection to farms.
You know, the agriculture and natural resource industries are such a huge part of not only just continued industry, but the fabric of our communities, our history. And I know that we're on the cusp of seeing the next generation of interest grow in their determination of continuing on their family businesses and their family farms. But I've got to tell you, our district has also been home to a burgeoning wolf repopulation, which has had significant challenges. And I can tell you that my message today is that it's about balance. You know, our agricultural lands support families, they support food production, they support agriculture in our local communities through farmers markets and food co-ops, but they also support land for wildlife, open space. That losing that fabric is a real concern for me.
Well, Firehouse Pet Shop in downtown Wenatchee is hosting a session they call Santa Paws Picks to raise money for the Okan Dogs dog rescue in Cashmere. The popular store located on Wenatchee Avenue offers all things pets and it's inviting all local critters to come have their picture taken with Santa Claus on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The fundraising cost is $25, and all photos will be taken by Chelsea Lynn Photos. The shop asks that individuals who are attending click on the RSVP button on the event's Facebook page so they can know how many furry friends to expect. When we come back, the Wenatchee School Board spent this week saying goodbye to a longtime member. Laura Jakes steps down after 20 years helping to steer Wenatchee's education system. We spoke with her about her time on the board. After that, expect your weather outlook with Dan Kuntz and NCWLIFE Sports with the inestimable Eric Granstrom. Stay with us.
Hi everybody, Dan Kuntz alongside Jesse Coble from Alpine Air. There's ice on my heat pump and under my heat pump.
Well, ice under your heat pump is normal. When we go into a defrost cycle, it melts the frost off, creates water, which freezes to the ground. Ice around your heat pump is a thing that you should probably give us a call about.
Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air for heat and air. Call Alpine Air. Thanks, Jesse.
Thanks.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets. As Chelan's premier lifestyle store, Willow, find unique home decor, clothing, jewelry, and more. Come visit for a welcoming and memorable shopping experience.
Deepwater Electronics is your one-stop shop for the latest in TV and sound technology. Whether you build your home theater or let them do it for you, Deepwater Electronics is the clear choice.
The switch is on to T-Mobile. Get the best 5G experience and the customer service you depend on. Only at Chelan Wireless in downtown Chelan.
After 2 decades of service, Laura Jakes has said goodbye to the Wenatchee School Board. Jakes, who's been on the board since 2003, announced in April that she would not run for re-election. At a reception held in her honor earlier this week, Superintendent Corey Callahar gave a speech that broke down the numbers. 20 years of service means 4 superintendents, 4 bond elections, 6 levy elections, 220 board workshops, and 440 board meetings, which also means 440 packages of board documents. NCWLIFE sat down with Jakes, who said she read every single page of those packets and learned about what has kept her going throughout the years.
I care a lot about kids. I care a lot about their successes. I have a huge heart for kids, and when I see a kid that I know I don't even have to see them really. I just happen to know that there are kids out there who are struggling. I don't have to know them personally to know that I want to remove barriers. I want to wrap my arms around kids in not an actual way, but figuratively speaking, I want to wrap my arms around kids and help them feel safe and secure and create an environment where they can learn and be who they are meant to be. I've given 20 years of my life with no regrets, really. I've loved every minute of it. But, there comes a time when it's just foolish to keep going. I loved the process of going through strategic planning in a really deep and meaningful way so that we all got on the same page in terms of what our focuses were. We've done that a couple of times since I've been on the board, well, probably more than a couple. But just that process of saying, hey, everybody, let's collect data from our stakeholders, from our students, from our parents, from our community, find out what's the most important, focus on those things and see if we can make a difference. And on the one hand, it's disappointing in a way that you can't accomplish everything that you wanted to, but it's heartening to know that you've made some progress in some areas. The work is never done on a school board. There's always more. You can't ever say, yay, we finished it, check off the box and move forward, because it's ever evolving.
It is a Friday. Everybody loves the weekend, unless you have to work the weekend. Dan Coons filling in for Grant Olson on the weather forecast. Beautiful view from our Billy Goat camera. High atop the Alta Lake area. A lot of sunshine came in later on in the day there. Took quite a bit of time for the clouds to burn off up in the Billy Goat area. By the way, that's a new camera. It's a 4K camera. And for those of you who are not familiar with television talk, when we say it's a 4K camera, that means it cost us $4,000. Beautiful day up there. Unofficially, our high at Pepingbor Memorial Airport, which is silly because nobody actually lives at the airport, but that's where the stuff is. 41 degrees, just a couple of degrees below normal. It was pretty chilly this morning. 25 degrees, and take a look at how the days are getting shorter and shorter. We had 9 hours and 15 minutes of daylight today. We'll be under the 9-hour mark by the time we get to the day after Thanksgiving, which, by the way, is 1 week from today. All in all, not bad. Temperatures very consistent tomorrow all over the region. Moses Lake, Ephrata, Quincy, right about that lower 40-degree mark. Same deal in Wenatchee. Omak will be topping off at 43 degrees. Everybody is going to be dealing with a little more cloud cover. And by a little more cloud cover tomorrow, well, I mean a lot more cloud cover. Sun will be taking the day off tomorrow, but it will be back on Sunday. So for the rest of the day today, again, a couple of clouds passing in and out. The next real weather maker, and it's really not much of one, is going to come our way Saturday night. We're going to have clouds all day tomorrow, cloud cover, but no precipitation in the forecast until we get after sunset, right around 5 or 6 o'clock. And from 5 or 6 or so on Saturday evening till about midnight Saturday night is when we're going to have some rain and a little bit of snow in the forecast, perhaps in the mountains. Sunday, we dry out after some morning rain, slight chance of that, considerably warmer. High of 51 on Sunday. That's close to 8-9 degrees above normal, so we do have some warm air coming in. Monday, we cool down a little bit. No big deal. Back to sunshine. We like that. Monday night, going to cool down, but not too much. Temperatures very consistent. Notice how they're going to be just a little bit above freezing. Tuesday, pretty much like Monday. Clouds and sun will have a little tug of war. Clouds will have the upper hand on Tuesday. That's looking good. Now, Wednesday, of course, is the big travel day, and we can't stress this enough. Looks like Stevens is going to get a little bit of snow Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday night, but not a lot. About 2 to 4 inches of snow in the forecast for Stevens Pass on Wednesday night. Snoqualmie and Blewett, no snow at all, really, expected. But Stevens could get about 2 to 4 inches, nothing we can't handle. And for Thanksgiving proper, not bad at all. Clouds, temperatures slightly above normal with a few sun breaks and a high of 46. And then we wrap it up on Black Friday with not bad weather at all. All in all, weather is really kind of quiet, kind of benign. So one more look at your forecast. Again, we topped off at 43 today, 32 for the overnight low tonight. Clouds all day on Saturday, but that rain that you see in the forecast is not going to be until after the sun goes down. Late Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening. Then we're going to have some rain, pretty good chance of rain, from about 5 o'clock to about midnight on Saturday night. We dry out on Sunday, looking good. Monday, looking good. And one more time, friendly reminder, Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night, some light snow in the mountains, but nothing really significant, with a chance of a little bit of rain here in the Wenatchee Valley. That's your forecast on this Friday. Still to come, sports with Eric Granstrom and more. You're watching a Friday edition of the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Now, am I looking into this camera, or am I looking, where am I looking?
We're gonna have you just look at
The holiday season is coming, and Santa's making his 15-second commercial for NCWLIFE channel. Are you?
NCWLIFE channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCWLIFE would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
The Wenatchee Panthers are setting out to do something the volleyball program hasn't done in 40 years. That is win a state trophy. After a 15-1 campaign this season and a Big 9 regular season championship and district title, Wenatchee's in Yakima to begin the state 4A volleyball tournament in the Sun Dome, and they're off to a great start. Wenatchee dominated in its first round win over Glacier Peak this morning, 25-13, 8-8 to advance 3 sets to none. The Panthers will play Curtis tonight at 7:15 after the Vikings survived a marathon match against West Valley this morning. Rams won the opener 25-22. Curtis won the second set 25-22. West Valley took the third 25-21. Curtis won the fourth 25-21. Went to a fourth and deciding set, and how about that? Curtis came out on top 15-13. It was 40 years ago in 1983 with Sally Ride becoming the first American woman in space and the Redskins on their way to a Super Bowl win that the Panthers won their only state championship. In fact, 1983 was the last time Wenatchee came home with any hardware at all from state. So 1 win in, 3 to go. Well, it's quarterfinal time of the WIAA state football playoffs. OMAC draws the very difficult challenge of traveling to Royal tonight to take on the #1 Knights in the 1A tournament. Cashmere will face Seton Catholic in its second round game in the Apple Bowl tomorrow at 4 o'clock. After a first round bye, the Okanagan Bulldogs will face the team that knocked Brewster out of the tournament tomorrow in the Apple Bowl at 1 o'clock. Goldendale is the underdog in the state 2B quarterfinal game tomorrow. Now, Myra Cooley Heartline heads for Tenino tomorrow to take on Mossy Rock in the second round of the State B tournament. Kickoff set for 12:30. Liberty Bell, meanwhile, after a first round bye, faces Welpinit tomorrow night in the Apple Bowl. That will kick off at 7. The Wenatchee Wild have a busy weekend ahead that begins tonight. Wenatchee finishes the second half of a home-and-home against the Tri-City Americans tonight at 7:05 in Kennewick. They'll be on the road at Spokane tomorrow night to face the Chiefs at 6:05. Then they'll return home Sunday to host Prince Albert at 4 o'clock in the Town Toyota Center. Following the action, you can do so on radio at KPQ, Austin Drade with a call, or if you want to head to that game on Sunday, go to WenatcheeWildHockey.com. It took overtime and a shootout, but the Seattle Kraken finally earned a victory in NHL action last night. Seattle fell behind to the New York Islanders early, then took the lead, then lost the lead before the game was decided in a shootout. Kraken came out on top 4-3.
Bumper slot Schwartz. Yamamoto, now Beniers. They'll look over the coverage, deal it back for Dunn. Beniers downhill with a shot. He scores! An absolute bullet by Matty Beniers on the power play, and the Kraken have tied it. Wenberg and Bjorkstrand, little give and go. Good play by Ryan Pollock, dogging the puck. Bjorkstrand out in front, they score! That's hockey, baby! Alex Wenberg has goals in back-to-back games. It's a power play goal again, and the Kraken have a 2-1 lead. A quick up, Barzell has the puck. To the slot, Cizikas scores! Casey Cizikas right through the slot. Beautiful pass by Matt Barzell. 5:35 left to go in the second period. Tied at 2. Fourth power play for the Islanders. They go to work. Barzell. Noah Dobson will calm it down. He'll get it back from Barzell. Heavy shot, scores! Noah Dobson from downtown. 8 seconds into the power play. And the young defenseman has given the Islanders a 1-goal lead. Eli Tolvanen, another opportunity to make a play. Tolvanen, right out in front, it pinballs off Schwartz. Schwartz out of the corner, Yamamoto scores! Kyler Yamamoto to the roof. Power play goal. The Kraken have tied it. Takes it to safe area, and now Tanev will get it out to center ice, and that's all. Cut off by Dunn, jailbreak, Seattle. Dunn with Gord, and never got through, overskated by Schwartz, open ice, Bo Horvat. Here he comes, Horvat bears it on Grubauer. Stopped by Grubauer. Angle a pass, off a skate, back out. 5 seconds left in overtime. McCann, a final push. As they cross the line, Schultz patted down easily by Varlamov. Bo Horvat, who scored last night in his return to Vancouver. A stutter step and a goal. Bo Horvat gives the Islanders the lead in the shootout.
Well, he had the breakaway opportunity in overtime. This time you don't have back pressure. He gets to slow up a little bit there, go quickly with that forehand shot right up over the blocker.
It's up to the maestro, Oliver Bjorkstrand. He scores!
Taking his time through. Varlamov looking to get.
Noah Dobson with a goal tonight. Slowly in on Grubauer. That's all! That's Kraken hockey, baby! The Kraken win the shootout!
Media caught up with Vince Dunn, Kaylor Yamamoto, and Coach Dave Haxtell afterwards to get their thoughts on winning a game on home ice after falling in overtime in Edmonton the night before.
A lot of big moments in the game, a lot of block shots, a lot of big saves. Yamo to get that goal to get us back in it. Those are the key moments in the game that we need to be able to keep games close and be able to catch back into games.
Yeah, there's a lot of ups and downs, but I think the way we came out in the third, I feel like we've been struggling in the third, tied or down, and we kind of let it slip away. So I think tonight, just to be able to, get that win is huge for us.
These back-to-backs, there's a lot of different things that happen, and you tend to encounter a lot of different things that are maybe unexpected from, whether it's penalty calls or, tired plays that that lead to, some crazy plays. But our guys found a way through it, and that's real credit to them.
Seattle plays at Vancouver tomorrow night at 7 on Root Sports Northwest. Well, the college football season is winding down for some and hitting the playoffs for others this weekend. Washington State is trying to snap a 6-game losing streak at home against Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes tonight. Kickoff set for 7:30 on FS1. Central Washington begins the NCAA Division II championships tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. They're on the road at Western Colorado. Meanwhile, after a perfect 9-0 season, Whitworth Pirates host Chapman in the Pine Bowl tomorrow at noon in the NCAA Division III championships. Eastern Washington hosts Northern Arizona on the red carpet at Reser Stadium. That'll be tomorrow at 1. Fifth-ranked Washington has yet another big test at number 11 Oregon State in Corvallis tomorrow. That'll kick off at 4:30. That game broadcast on ABC. The 6-3 Seahawks play at 3-6 Los Angeles Sunday at SoFi Stadium. Since taking over as head coach of the Rams in 2017, Sean McVay is 4-2 against Seattle. Seahawks strong safety Quandre Diggs says McVay is kind of a mastermind on evolving his offensive scheme.
I think he, a lot of motion, a lot of, moving around, putting pieces in different spots, and he's one of the, best, if not the best, play caller in the NFL. So I think it's just, having great personnel also. He has great personnel. So, you pick and choose who you want to kind of take away. And, that's one of those pick your poison things. And they still run the ball well. So I think, he does a lot of different things. He's very, sound in what they do. And, they mix it up. It's not always the same thing. If we're going to run a lot of inside routes, we can run a lot of outside routes too. So it's just, all about switching up. And I think when you have a veteran quarterback that, can really dissect defenses and see what guys are in, it makes them very dangerous.
Seattle quarterback Geno Smith says add to the familiarity of facing a divisional opponent, and you're going to have some pretty close games.
I'll say from my vantage point, you got a great head coach and Coach McVay. He calls the plays. He's great at scheming things for his guys. He understands offense and defense. I think, Coach McVay is, one of the better coaches in the league, as we've seen. And then they've got great players. Matt Stafford, Aaron Donald, all the players that they've, had throughout the years is the reason why they've won a bunch of games and in my opinion, it has made it close in those games against us. And then obviously division games are going to be a little bit tougher just because the familiarity there, just knowing the opponent and them knowing us. So we expect it always to be a really good game, but, it doesn't have to be. We can go out there and, win one easily. But we know they got great guys, got a ton of respect for those guys, and we expect it to be a close one.
Seahawks and Rams kick off Sunday at 1:25. That game broadcast, by the way, on CBS. I'm Eric Grandstrom. That's sports. Have a great weekend.
It's the first live theatrical production they've been able to do here at the Snowy Owl Theater since the COVID-19 pandemic. It is the all-time classic Pride and Prejudice. It opens here at the Snowy Owl Theater on the 17th. It runs through the 26th. We'll be talking to the two lead characters of this really cool and fun play on the next edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook, on our website, ncwlife.com. And if you see news happening, we would like to hear from you. You can send us an email, news@ncwlife.com, or give us a call, 888-6295. That's 888-NCWL. Grant Olson will be back next week I'm Jefferson Robbins. Thanks a lot for being with us, and have a great weekend.